All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. You are currently at the Austin Ryan White Clinical Quality Management Committee meeting. We appreciate everyone coming. And we will start by reviewing the meeting purpose. And the meeting purpose is to improve quality of care and health outcomes for people with HIV by implementing, that's a space, let's do that. CQM strategies using logical, systematic, and effective processes to solve problems in service delivery and clinical care. And now I would turn it over to Mr. Ken to do welcome and introductions.
Good morning, everyone. We'll just do a real simple, real quick round of introductions so we can get into the meat of today's meeting. So just your name, agency, and the role you play there. So I'm Ken Martin. I work at the HIV Resources Administration Unit at Austin Public Health, and I'm the Grants Program Manager. And I will pick on Jennifer and ask Jennifer to pick on someone after her.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jennifer LeBlanc, and I'm the Clinical Quality Management Coordinator, and I am with the HIV Resource Administration Unit as well. And I will pass it over to Justin.
Good morning, Justin Farrell, HRAU Program Manager, and I'll pass it to Raju.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Raju Kimire. I'm a research analyst at HIV Resources Administration Unit. I am responsible for the data reporting for the grant programs. Thank you. And I pass it over to Kim.
Good morning, everybody. Kim Nguyen, also from HRAU. I am the grants coordinator, and I'll pass it over to Julia.
Hello, I'm Julia. I'm also part of HIV Resource Administration Unit, and I am the grants coordinator for HAWA, but working on different grants right now. And I'll pass it over to Todd.
Hello, Todd Logan here. Project transitions, I am marvelous, and I'm the grants coordinator. And I will go with Sandra.
I knew you were going to say that. I'm Sandra Chavez with Ashwell. I'm the Director of Outreach here. And I'll pass it over to Tyreek.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tyreek Daniels. I am with Ashwell, and I am the HIV Peer Support Manager. And I would pass it over to Emily.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Emily Johnston. I'm the program manager of the CARE program, and I will pass it to Erica.
Good morning. My name is Erica Washington. I'm the Associate Director for Managed Care at AIDS Healthcare Foundation, and I'll pass it over to Astrid.
Hi, good morning. I'm the Contract Manager for AIDS Healthcare Foundation. And I'll pass it over to Jahira.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Yahira Saldivar-Solis, and I am the Grants Manager for HIV and Sexual Health here at the David Powell Center with Community Care. Now I'll pass it over to Danny.
Good morning, Danny Cedille, Community Care, David Powell Clinic. Title is Data Quality Management Specialist. I will pass it over to Christy.
I'm Christy Hanley, Program Manager at Brazos Valley Council of Governments. We're the Part B Administrative Agency. I will pass it to Matt.
Wait for my camera to turn on and see if it works. Hey, everybody, my name is Matt Phoebus. I'm the Director of Patient Support Services at Texas Health Action, the KIND Clinic. And I'll pass it over to Cami.
Hi, everyone. I'm Cami. I am the program manager for the care navigation team here at Texas Health Action, part of the KIND Clinic. I'll pass it over. Wait, did everyone go? No, I'll pass it over to Veronica.
Hi, everyone. My name is Veronica. I'm the financial analyst for the HIV Resources Administration Unit.
And if that's everybody, Thomas, you and Michael, introduce yourselves. I'm sure everybody knows you, but.
Sure. Thomas Rodriguez Shucker. I am with Collaborative Research. We are the consulting group for the HRAU team. Michael?
Hi, my name is Michael Coran, also with Collaborative Research. And we also had 2 people enter as we were doing introductions. So I'm going to pop over to Susie Vega.
Hi, good morning. My name is Susie Vega. I'm the program manager here at Asheville for our case management department.
Thank you, Susie. And Veronica?
She just introduced herself.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I believe that's everyone. As I was entering, as we were doing I was letting them into the room as we were doing introductions.
All right, turn it over to you guys. Jennifer, you're up. You're muted also.
I am. Okay. So would you mind pulling the agenda back up for me really quickly?
Sure. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Thank you, Thomas.
You're welcome.
All right, so we are continuing to review and approve the draft CQM plan, and we're planning to submit it to us for approval. And did this just go between us, or has this copy been provided to the subrecipients?
So we did present this at last CQM committee meeting for any input. And this might be an opportunity to see if anybody has any input or if they want to email it to you, Jennifer, for any additions or suggested changes to the plan. And then I think once the recipient has an opportunity to review it and make edits as well, we can bring it back to the next committee meeting. So this might stay on there until we get it approved, if you don't mind. Okay. Anybody have any suggested edits to the plan? How did we like it? Thumbs up. I'm going to turn it off so we can see everybody kind of. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yeah. All right. Well, it looks like everybody does not have any changes, so that's good. And then the recipient's office can continue to edit. Just one thing I'd like to throw in there. We are still, and when I say that, I mean the HRAU team and CQM committee. We're still trying to integrate some of the EHE planning activities into the CQM plan as well. Just waiting on HRSA to send back the final report so we can, make those additions. We don't want to have to come back 3 or 4 times, make some inclusions of EHE and then come back and find out that's not what the report said. So this is going to be kind of a living document over the next couple of months as we move forward with the CQM plan. And that's a good thing because we want to update our CQM plan to be as up to date as possible. So again, we will wait for the recipient's office to make some final edits to bring back to committee for approval, and then final approval by Justin in his office. Ms. Jennifer, anything that you want to add to that y'all are currently working on with the edits?
No, it looks like we're going to be going into the performance measures later, so we'll talk a little bit about that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right. The next item on our agenda is the quality improvement project worksheets. And this is just going to be a kind of a pulse check. Like, how are we with the worksheets? How are they going? We would definitely like to have those submitted to us by September meeting. So we can start reviewing those and get that quality improvement project kicked off. Any questions so far? Again, I think our opportunity is to look at the low-hanging fruit of really working with viral suppression, starting out as a quality improvement project. And just think of either a data improvement project that you could work on, or maybe process improvement of reviewing your current clients who aren't virally suppressed and how can we get them virally suppressed. Whether that be like, if you're not working in, for instance, a outpatient ambulatory setting or a medical case management setting, It could simply be, increased referrals to case management to increase your client's viral load suppression. So for instance, I have a subrecipient who provides legal services. And she was like, what am I going to do? I help people make sure they keep their housing. I was like, well, that's going to be a data project for you. You can look at those clients on your list who aren't virally suppressed, and you can create a referral and look at how many referrals you've made and how successful that was. So keep that in mind too. If you're not someone who provides like a kind of a medical service where you're reviewing and tracking viral load suppression, it can always be a data project to get your clients to viral load suppression as well, right?
Hello, this is Erica Washington. I am very new to the region. We're starting our first site in Austin, and I don't recall the document that you are referring to. Could I please get that?
Sure. And so keep in mind that all of our documents are in Basecamp. So if you signed up to be your single point of contact at your organization, you should have already received access to Basecamp. So Erica, if you have not received access to Basecamp, if you will shoot me and the HRAU team an email and letting us know, and then we're going to ask you to fill out a SPOC contact form in SurveyMonkey, and then we'll get you access. And that will give you access to all of our projects and our last meetings as well. And just to kind of piggyback on that really quickly, if you don't mind, I'm just going to show you Basecamp again so that when you do get access to that, so give me 1 second, please. Let me share my screen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So as a reminder, when you get access to Basecamp, you're obviously not going to have all these folders, but you will see Austin CQM committee. You're going to click on that. And then you're going to click on the docs and file page. And then you'll see all of our previous meetings. The recordings are in there as well. I did not share this with everybody, so I apologize. But you'll be able to see all of the committee activities and documents. So here, from last committee meeting, you have the QI project worksheets and all of the materials presented at previous meetings as well. So that should be able to help you.
Okay, so for the September meeting, we just need to have completed the QI project planning worksheet.
Yes, ma'am. Yep, that would be great.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. And if you want to also review the draft of the quality improvement plan, that's going to be in Basecamp as well.
Awesome.
Question. Would you describe driver diagram as the steps you're going through to implement the project?
Todd, that's a great question. And quick answer, yes. So you could also use a fishbone diagram to build your driver diagrams. And it's going to help you look at the process improvements along the way of how one can piggyback or build upon the other. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I kept looking at that going, I'm not sure what goes in there, but that's what it felt like. So good. Okay, great.
Nope, I get it. And if you want to confuse yourself even more, Google it, and then you'll find tons of videos that's like, do this, do that, and then you'll be really confused. No, please don't Google it. I see Christy shaking her head. You'll be all over the place. It'll take you 3 days to get your mind clear. So don't go down that rabbit hole. But if you need a little extra help, it's a good place to look to see, like, how did somebody else build a driver diagram, to look at the small increment steps along that way. But yes, that would kind of help you build upon what your final goal is. And again, just for a quick announcement across the entire program, if you have not received access to Basecamp, please send myself and the HRAU team an email saying that you need access to Basecamp, and that will help us get you an email again to complete the SurveyMonkey form for the CQM committee, and then also get you access to Basecamp. All right. No other questions about the CQM worksheets? If you do, please email me, and again, include the HRAU team so that we're all on the same page and we're helping to get you the best answer possible, and we can schedule some time to work with you if we need to. So we're all successful at our first kickoff of our quality improvement projects. All right. All right, we will move back to the agenda. Share my screen. So I'm doing this from my laptop today, so I apologize that I'm not very quick on switching screens back and forth. All right, that brings us to performance measure portfolio. Turn it over to you again, Jennifer.
Thank you. So for the performance measure portfolio, we are going to have to set the time back for presentation and review. We are still having some challenges pulling the data necessary to complete it from TCT. So we are still working on that, and our hope is that we will have the performance measures portfolio completed for our next CQM committee meeting.
Perfect. That sounds good. And just to build upon that, and you're probably wondering, like, what is a performance measure portfolio? Great question. So if you remember that in policy clarification 1502 that describes what our responsibilities are as a CQM committee, the jurisdiction has to pick some performance measures based on service utilization, meaning how many clients actually use the service. So we look at total number of service clients eligible for the service and then how many used it. And if we have less than 15% utilization, we don't really have to track a performance measure. If it's between 15% and 50%, we have to have one performance measure. And if it's over 50% service utilization, then we're required to track two performance measures. So you're probably asking yourself, like, how does that affect me as a subrecipient? The quick answer to that is it doesn't. This is something that the recipients team tracks and looks at performance measures, and we share with our subrecipients to help you build upon performance measures and your quality improvement projects. So if you're noticing, within your own organization, you may have a low viral suppression rate because maybe you're servicing really high acuity clients who are recently released from incarceration, right? So maybe they're not virally suppressed, or you're serving high number of newly diagnosed clients. So it just helps you look at some of the performances that are happening within the jurisdiction and how you can help improve upon that with your quality improvement projects. So performance measures don't have any direct effect on you with quality improvement, but it does help you identify some areas that you can use to help in your quality improvement projects as well. And so we'll look at that performance measure portfolio, and that will outline all the service utilization data across every service that's provided and really give us a good look at how we're tracking that data along our care continuum. All right, well, this was a pretty quick meeting. Time flies when all you have to do is fill out worksheets, right? All right. So again, if you do not have access to Basecamp, please email me and Jennifer, or if you don't have my email address, email one of us. We'll get us all circled into the link and get you on the SurveyMonkey questionnaire, and also get you into Basecamp. And then our next committee meeting is not August. I apologize. Let me look that up really fast. It is September. Let's see here. It's September the 8th. So let me update that as so September 8th. My apologies. All right, let's share again. So our next meeting is September the 8th from 9 until 11. And again, if you have any questions about your quality improvement projects or the worksheets, please let us know. We are expecting everyone to please submit your worksheets by September the 8th so we can review your quality improvement project and give some feedback on that. And in Basecamp, there will be some activities for you to complete and to respond to, and we'll always check in with you on Basecamp. So please, again, if you do not have access to Basecamp, please let us know as soon as possible so we can get you linked in there. All right, I don't have anything else. Anything else from the recipients team?
I actually do have one more thing, Thomas. I'd like to take a moment. We are currently working on revamping our grievance policies and procedures through the AA. To assist us with that, I am requesting that everyone send me an email with your current grievance policies and procedures. And for those who have already sent me some, I appreciate it. You could just shoot me an email. That would be greatly appreciated. That way, I have kind of an understanding of what your grievance policies and procedures are so that we could be in support of the steps that you're taking. So if you could send that over to me, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Great, thank you. And I am dropping both mine and Jennifer's email addresses into the chat. So again, if you need access to Basecamp, please email us and we will get you linked up and on Basecamp. All right, any other announcements from any subrecipients or the recipient's office?
I don't have an announcement, but I do have a question. So you said you want us to submit those planning worksheets. What does that mean? Does that mean send an email? What does submit mean?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you. It was not, I did not help, did I? So we will, there will be a folder in Basecamp that asks for your quality improvement projects, and you can simply upload it to Basecamp, and that can be like a drag and drop once you get in there, or you can click the upload button. But that's great. And that way we can share our quality improvement project. So if someone gets stuck and we have an overachiever who uploads theirs, still shamelessly. So if Emily uploads hers first, look at hers and modify it so it works for you. No, no, but it will help us all kind of get an idea again, you know, like how did somebody else complete the driver diagram, or how did somebody answer this question? So, you know, we want to do this as a team effort and work together so that we're all successful. It's a great question, Emily. Thank you.
I have a question. Does everybody know how to complete the driver diagram? Have you looked at it to see if you have any questions? Aubrey, I think that's probably a good idea before we adjourn.
Okay.
If you don't mind, Thomas,
not at all. Let me pull it up.
Would you run us through that?
Yes, sir. Give me 1 second. Pull the worksheet up and. All right, here we are. There we go. And so the really good thing about the worksheets is I did try to give everybody kind of an idea of how examples. So in the gray areas in the worksheets, kind of an example of how you could build things out. So even if we go a little bit above it and look at like how to create a good aim statement, you know, what is your rationale? So when we get the driver diagram, we really want to look at what is our primary driver, meaning like what is our driving force? Increased training and education, for instance, for this one is on their health information system, right? So like CareWare, E2, or what is TST? Is that right? For your data system?
TCT. Yeah.
Thank you. TCT, right? And so what do we have to do to get to that end goal? You know, require refresher training, require new staff training, some type of training schedule. And then some of the ideas we have to, you know, force us to change those, and getting that end goal would be like schedule time for training within your organization, document staff training, or work with the AEC to provide trainings. Another idea for a primary driver could be decrease the number of clients missing data components in your health information system. How would we do that? So this particular one has a care continuum dashboard. So we require subrecipients to pull care continuum dashboards. Look at compliance checks. Maybe you're doing internal audits. Maybe you can do a monthly internal audit of 10% of your clients, something of that nature. And then how would we get to that? Supervisors can identify on a bi-weekly or monthly basis, whatever you feel is necessary for your organization, to identify the missing data components. So, you know, if you have an opportunity to look at your clients holistically and you see that you're at 65% viral suppression rate in your organization, your idea is to kind of identify drivers that can get you to the viral suppression rate and increase that 65%. And so it kind of works its way back down to the primary driver. Like what are the minute steps that we're going to take to get to that process? Christy had mentioned in the last meeting that it would this aligns very well with a fishbone diagram. So you can identify the component and what are the little pieces that hang off of that component to get to that main concern, or to address that main concern. Does that kind of help answer how the driver diagram works?
Yeah, and I've always, when I'm doing driver diagrams, I've found it very helpful to assemble some staff members who can give ideas and to work through this together. And I would say, you know, if you need any assistance in working through it, let us know, and we'll try to get you some assistance there.
And that's a great idea, Ken. So I also find it very helpful, like maybe at a staff meeting, like throw out the question or throw out what your primary driver is and say, okay, now how do we get to this? Like what, you know, and you may notice that certain staff members within your organization do very key components that can help you get there. So if, you know, you ask the different departments that are involved in your process, like, what do you do to get people there? It will really help you identify steps along the way of your driver diagram. Also keep in mind that Basecamp is there for you to help you. So if you go into Basecamp, you do have the opportunity, let me move you do have the opportunity when you go into the QM program there's a message board. You can throw that out there and people can respond. They'll see that you said, hey, you know, I need help with this driver diagram. I'm stuck on this point. And then everybody can respond back within our CQM committee to give you some ideas as well. So it's a good place for, you know, you to throw out ideas and questions that, you know, our team members can help with as well.
I believe Astrid has a question. You got your hand up.
Yes, I do. Since we're a new organization in Austin and we don't have clients yet, can our quality improvement project can base on our process on how to reach viral load suppression?
That's a great question. So I think you may have to skip the first quality improvement project if you don't have clients yet, because you're not going to have any baseline data to approve, really. So this will be a great opportunity for you to observe and to see how things are progressing along this quality improvement cycle. And then I think you'll be ready for the next quality improvement cycle that starts at the beginning of next grant year. And you'll be ready to kick that off as you have new clients.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I get that what will happen is that this will go into our own individual agency quality improvement plan. However, what about the larger picture? I mean, what are you gonna, are these gonna feed into the area QM plan, or are you gonna give individual feedback, or what's, you know, tell me what's gonna happen from here.
Yes, sir. That's a great question. And so
they're not all great questions.
No, that really is. Everybody's kind of new to the CQM process. And I mean, that's a really good question. And that's, you know, earlier we talked about the performance measure portfolio. So that's the overarching goal of the entire, you know, TGA is like, what do we want to improve upon? And you're asking like, how does my agency's quality improvement project add to that? Because we also report to HRSA that each individual subrecipient has to have quality improvement processes. And believe it or not, your small incremental changes within your own organization directly reflects the overall outcome of the entire TGA. So your small projects help us increase our efficiencies along that performance measure portfolio. So as you're measuring your incremental changes within your own organization, Jennifer and her team will be looking at it in the broad perspective of the entire TGA. So that's why it's important for us to bring all of the subrecipients to the table and say, you know what, let's do some small changes for the low hanging fruit. And then you'll see a huge effect as that, you know, moves across the entire TGA. So if everybody's working on viral suppression this year, we should see a pretty good incremental change along the viral suppression rates within our TGA. And if not, then, you know, we just got to go back to the drawing board and say, you know what, that project wasn't bad. It just didn't give us the outcomes we thought we were getting. Right. And so then you can go back and tweak your project a little bit. So I definitely want to stress that. So just because you didn't get the outcomes that you thought you were going to get from your quality improvement project doesn't mean it was bad. It just means that process improvement didn't work. Keep your same quality improvement project and tweak it. So maybe this time you said, you know what, we're just going to give referrals back to case management to get people linked back to care and virally suppressed. All right. So maybe referrals didn't work. Maybe the next thing is tracking the client a little better.
Gotcha. So that was a really good answer on the larger from a broader perspective. What about from a more detailed approach? As in, so we turn this in, and then do we talk to someone about it? What do we do?
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is I'm going to take everybody's quality improvement project. And we're going to put it into a tracking system. And then on a monthly basis, we're going to ask you to bring back your indicators. Like, how are you progressing along your quality improvement project?
Okay.
That's why it's important to make sure when you're developing this, that you create a baseline. So get a good baseline of where you're starting out with that project. So maybe you're starting out at an agency-wide viral suppression rate of 50%. And then next month you look at it and your viral suppression rate jumped to 53%. Something's working, right? And so we'll track that incrementally. And we're also going to ask subrecipients to share what type of increases or what's happening along your quality improvement projects. So that way, I'm sure all of us are running into some kind of similar issue with process improvement. And again, we don't want to recreate the wheel. We want to share those process improvements so that people can increase their efficiencies within their own organization.
Okay, Grant, thanks.
Yes, sir. You're welcome. And Christy, that is exact. She brings up a very good point. Sometimes the best learning lessons are the processes that didn't work like you thought it was going to work, right? I use this example all the time. We had a jurisdiction under emergency financial assistance that required them to cut a check for the EFA situation within 3 business days. Well, I don't know whose finance department you've ever worked with. Nobody cuts checks in 3 business days. So looking at that quality improvement process, as we saw that in the performance measure indicator did not work, we were able to take that burden off of the subrecipients and say, please don't stress yourself in trying to get a check cut in 3 business days. So that's, again, learning from a process that does not work and improving upon that. So short answer to that also is, it also helps with service delivery. When you notice something may not be working like we want it to in the field, this is an opportunity for us to tell the recipient, hey, this doesn't work like we thought it was going to work out here in the real world. Maybe we need to look at our service delivery model and change that as well, or a service standard model and change that. So it trickles down a lot when we start working on quality improvement. All right, great discussion. Any other questions? All right, again, please don't hesitate in using Basecamp and throwing questions or concerns out. We are here to answer those. Mr. Ken?
I think that sounds great. And there being no further questions, let's adjourn this thing. Give you back some time.
There you go. Sounds good. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your week and have a great weekend if we don't talk before then. Thank you.
Thank you.